Alright, so hopefully you finished these questions, because if you have, now let's move on to this example 10. So this one, we have to find t. We have to find a variable that we don't know, because t is over here. So what they've done is basically similar question to the other one, but instead of trying to find the gradient, which is what we were doing in the previous question, we're actually trying to figure out the t. So it's almost kind of working backwards. But honestly, the steps are the same. It's just a little bit of thinking. So step 1, what was step 1? It was, I should probably write label the variable. Right, the steps don't change. Label the variable. Alright, so I'm going to start with my x1, my y1, my x2, and y2. And I know t has doesn't have a number, but we can still call it y2. Step 1 done. Step 2, what was it? Well, it was copy formula. Now, make sure you copy the right formula. What are we talking about? We're talking about a gradient over here. So we're going to talk about the gradient formula. So that's very important. So what was the formula? y2 take y1. So scroll up to have a look if you need to. But I know it, so I'm copying it down. So y2 take y1 over x2 take x1, because it's the difference of y step divided by difference of x step. Alright, what's step 3? Hopefully you know it. It is substitution. Substitute. Alright, so I'm going to do that. So, I actually know gradient, so I can substitute that in as well. So gradient is 2 over 3, sorry. So I can actually substitute that in. Right, equals y2. What's my y2? Well, it's actually t, so I need to write t. Take. What's my y1? Well, my y1 is over here. It's a -2, so make sure you put a -2. What's my x2? My x2 is over here. It's 9. x1 over here, 5. Alright, we're almost done. I'm going to start simplifying stuff a little bit. So we should be able to solve this because, well, let's first of all, 2 over 3 equals t plus 2. So that minus turns into a plus. What's 9 take 5? Well, 9 take 5 is just 4. Now let's solve it. So basically we want to solve this equation and eventually get t equals, so we can find t, because that's what we want to do. Okay, so let's start with the first thing. Well, first of all, t plus 2 divided by 4. What's furthest away from t? This is what the whole last topic was about. You've got to get rid of the divide 4, so you've got to do times 4. Okay, so I've got 2 over 3 times 4 equals t plus 2. Right, almost there. Now, if you don't know how to do this, you can do it on the calculator, but all you have to do when it's a times, you can make this into a fraction by dividing it by 1, so it just becomes 4 over 1. How you do times fraction is you times the numerators together, so it becomes 8, and then you times the denominators together. Let me make that a little bit more clear. You times the denominators together, so 3 times 1, which is 3. Alright, and that is t plus 2. All I have to get rid of is just the plus 2. How do I get rid of the plus 2? Well, I do minus 2, because that's the opposite of it. Easy. Alright, so therefore, 8, it's a bit messy, I'll try to write right underneath it. 8 divided by 3, take 2, is t. There you go, you found your t. Let's see if we can actually figure it out. Obviously, you can use your calculator and figure it out if you would like, but I'm just going to do the hard, the expanded way to show you how to actually do that calculation. So, as I said, I can make that 2 into a fraction, easy, by dividing it by 1. Now, if I want to do subtraction of a fraction, I need to make sure my denominators are the same. At the moment, one of my denominators are 3, and the other one is 1. So how do I make them the same? So what I need to do is figure out the lowest common multiple. So how can 3 and 1 be the same? Well, all I actually have to do is just times this by 3, so that becomes 3. If I times it on the bottom, I need to make sure I times it to the top. Right? Do not forget that. So my 8 over 3 stays normal. I haven't done anything to it. But 2 times 3 happens to the top. 1 times 3 happens to the bottom. So that equals to t, and I'm really, really close. Now that these denominators are the same, what I can do is combine the fraction. So I can go 8 take 6 and like combine it into one fraction. So they've kind of just combined the fraction line and then just only wrote one of the 3's. Alright, so there you go. So if I do that calculation, what's 8 take 6? Well, that's 2. And then the bottom stays. So my t is just simply 2/3. And that's it. I found the answer. And it was a little bit lengthy because I had to do that algebraic calculation, but you should be able to copy all this down. Make sure you do copy it down. It's very important because now once you've copied it down, you should be able to do these examples. And I'll highlight the ones that I would like you to try. So basically, obviously we'll color this in a little bit of a orange one because they are kind of challenging ones. They're your more, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. So if you want to extend yourself a little bit. So those are the harder questions. And obviously 4 is a little bit harder as well. So if you are wanting to extend yourself, make sure you give these questions a go.